The Billionaire Blueprint: What Henry Ford Did to Change the World and Get Rich. Young Henry's farm and fantastic ideas. In the quiet expanse of Greenfield Township, Michigan, young Henry Ford's destiny began to diverge from the rich soil that defined his parents' lives. Born in 1863 to William and Mary Ford, he was expected to embrace the rhythms of farm life. Yet, even as a boy, the clanking of machinery held far more allure for him than the rustling of cornstalks. His childhood was a constant tug-of-war, the demands of the homestead pulling him one way, and an insatiable curiosity about mechanical wonders pulling him another. His first ventures weren't about crops or livestock, but about tinkering. He dissected and reassembled watches with an almost obsessive precision, earning a local reputation for his ability to fix any timepiece that came his way. Farm machinery, such as his father's steam engine, fascinated him endlessly. He studied its intricate parts, understanding how gears meshed and pistons pumped. These early interactions were his true education, far more impactful than any formal schooling he reluctantly endured. The conflict between his parents' desire for him to remain a farmer and his own burgeoning mechanical passion was palpable. While his father taught him diligence in agriculture, his mother, Mary, encouraged his intelligence, though perhaps not fully grasping the depth of his divergence. This practical, hands-on learning, often conducted in the solitude of a makeshift workshop on the farm in Greenfield Township, instilled in Henry a relentless drive to understand, improve, and innovate. These formative years, steeped in the stark contrast between manual farm labor and the elegant logic of machines, irrevocably shaped his worldview, igniting the spark that would eventually revolutionize the world with his product, the automobile. Building cars from scratch. Henry Ford's early professional life in Detroit, Michigan, was a relentless pursuit of mechanical understanding, far removed from the farm of his youth. His path led him through various engineering and machinist roles, notably as chief engineer for the Detroit Electric Company. Here, surrounded by the hum of generators and the intricate workings of electrical systems, Ford honed his skills, gaining invaluable experience in power generation and the meticulous craftsmanship required for complex machinery. Yet his gaze was fixed firmly on a different horizon, the nascent, exhilarating world of automotive manufacturing. He recognized the massive potential of self-propelled vehicles, even as many dismissed them as noisy novelties for the wealthy. His evenings, after long days at the electric company, were spent in a small shed behind his home, fueled by an unwavering conviction. There, he tirelessly experimented with engine design, meticulously crafting components, and pushing the boundaries of what was then possible. His early designs, like the quadricycle, were raw and imperfect, but they were proof of concept, embodying his vision of a gasoline-powered vehicle for the masses. This bold move to invest his time, meager savings, and relentless effort into engine design and automobile construction was a calculated risk. Despite early failures, including the collapse of the Detroit Automobile Company, Ford possessed a strategic foresight that few shared. He saw beyond the limited, bespoke production of the era, envisioning a future where every family could own a car. His transition into what would become his primary domain, the affordable, reliable automobile, was born from a singular passion and a stubborn refusal to abandon his dream, setting the stage for an industrial revolution. The amazing Model T. The Ford Motor Company was established in 1903 in Detroit, Michigan, but its true ascent began with Henry Ford's singular vision: to build a car for the great multitude. His initial backers included coal dealer Alexander Malcolmson, who provided crucial early capital, and other investors who believed in Ford's engineering prowess, if not yet his audacious vision for mass production. From its modest beginnings, Ford's strategy for growth was clear: simplicity, reliability, and affordability. The introduction of the Model T in 1908 was a pivotal moment. It wasn't just another car, it was a testament to standardization and rugged design, instantly becoming a sensation. Ford's genius lay not only in the product itself, but in the revolutionary methods he developed to produce it. He wasn't interested in acquiring rivals. Instead, he aimed to outproduce and outprice them. This led to his relentless focus on efficient manufacturing processes and, most famously, the assembly line production. At plants like the Piquette Avenue plant and later the sprawling Highland Park plant, Ford implemented aggressive tactics of vertical integration and continuous flow. Every component, every process, was scrutinized for ways to reduce waste and increase speed. He built a vast industrial complex where raw materials entered at one end and finished cars rolled out the other. This relentless pursuit of cost reduction and revolutionary production methods transformed the company. By emphasizing standardization and interchangeability of parts, Ford didn't just build cars faster, he made them cheaper, placing the Model T within reach of the average American worker and solidifying Ford Motor Company as an undisputed industrial giant. How Ford made cars for everyone. Henry Ford's relentless pursuit of efficiency culminated in a paradigm shift. The moving assembly line, fully implemented at the Highland Park plant by 1913. This wasn't a solo effort. It was the strategic contribution of his brilliant engineers and the dedicated workforce, who meticulously refined every step of the Model T's construction. The process broke car assembly into 84 distinct stages, each performed by a worker who remained in place as the chassis moved along. This inventive strategy slashed assembly time from 12 hours to just 93 minutes, a feat that electrified the industrial world. Ford's vision extended beyond the factory floor. He embraced vertical integration, acquiring mines, forests, and even a rubber plantation to control every aspect of production, from raw materials to the finished automobile. This allowed him unprecedented control over costs and supply, overcoming systemic barriers in manufacturing and distribution. The result was an affordable Model T, democratizing car ownership and making it accessible to the masses, a revolutionary concept in an era dominated by European luxury car makers and other nascent automotive companies focused on exclusive clientele. The Model T's popularity exploded, and with it, Ford Motor Company's reach. Ford established manufacturing plants across the globe, from England to South America, ensuring that his product was not only affordable, but also locally available. By making the car a practical reality for the average person, Ford secured overwhelming market control. His inventive strategies didn't just build cars, they built a global empire, redefining industrial production and transforming society on an unprecedented scale, solidifying his company's position as a dominant force worldwide. Fighting for fair factories. Despite his industrial triumphs, Henry Ford's reign was not without formidable challenges, often rooted in his fierce independence and autocratic style. Early on, he faced a significant legal hurdle with the Selden patent case. George B. Selden, an attorney, had obtained a patent for a road engine in 1895 and demanded royalties from all American automakers. Ford, with his flagship Model T production at stake, famously defied the Association of Licensed Automobile Manufacturers, ALAM, fighting the patent in patent courts for years. Although initially losing in 1909, Ford won on appeal in 1911, breaking the patent stranglehold and opening the automotive industry to broader competition. However, Ford's most enduring conflicts stemmed from his controversial labor policies and his notorious anti-union stance. While pioneering the $5 a day wage, he vehemently opposed organized labor, viewing unions as an infringement on his authority. This led to violent confrontations, particularly with the rise of figures like Walter Reuther and the United Auto Workers, UAW. The infamous Battle of the Overpass in 1937, where Ford security forces brutally attacked union organizers, highlighted the intense public and governmental opposition to his tactics. His resistance ultimately led to a protracted struggle with the National Labor Relations Board, NLRB, eventually forcing Ford Motor Company to sign a contract with the UAW in 1941, a landmark decision that reshaped industry labor standards. These legal and labor battles, while bruising, ironically cemented Ford's image as both a revolutionary and a stubborn individualist, highlighting the paradoxical nature of his legacy. Sharing his money and saving history. Henry Ford's philosophy of wealth was complex, often contradictory, yet profoundly impactful. He believed that industry served a higher purpose than mere profit. It should uplift society and its workers. This conviction manifested famously in 1914 with the introduction of the $5 day wage. While a revolutionary business strategy to reduce turnover, it also reflected social vision. giving workers enough to afford the very Model T automobiles they built, thereby creating a thriving middle class and a robust consumer market. This initiative profoundly influenced industrial labor practices across the United States, particularly in Michigan. Beyond wages, Ford channeled his philanthropic impulses into projects reflecting his deep respect for history and practical education. He recognized the rapid pace of industrial change and feared the loss of America's agrarian and craft heritage. This led to the endowment of two major institutions, the Henry Ford Museum and Greenfield Village. Located in Dearborn, Michigan, these sprawling complexes were designed not merely as museums, but as living, interactive testaments to American ingenuity and everyday life. He literally moved historic buildings, from Thomas Edison's laboratory to Noah Webster's home, to preserve them. His focus on education, particularly vocational training, was another cornerstone. Ford believed in learning by doing, providing opportunities for practical skills development. This strategic, hands-on approach to giving, aimed at both improving the lives of his workers and preserving American industrial history, began to transform his public image. While his business tactics were often controversial, his philanthropic legacy, particularly in historical preservation and practical education, left an undeniable and lasting positive impact beyond his incredible business ventures. His last ride and lasting legend. As Henry Ford aged, his grip on the Ford Motor Company loosened, not always gracefully. While he never formally retired in the conventional sense, his later years saw a gradual, albeit often turbulent, shift from active, day-to-day leadership. He increasingly indulged his passions beyond manufacturing, dedicating significant energy to his beloved historical preservation projects, particularly the expansion and curation of Greenfield Village and the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn. These living museums became a tangible manifestation of his reverence for American innovation and agrarian heritage, a physical collection of the past he feared modernity was erasing. His health declined significantly in the 1940s, and the management of the vast Ford empire transitioned through his son Edsel, who sadly died prematurely, and then, critically, to his energetic grandson, Henry Ford II. In September 1945, Henry Ford officially passed the presidency of the company to his grandson, signaling the end of an era. Just over a year and a half later, in April 1947, Henry Ford died at the age of 83 in Fair Lane, his estate in Dearborn, Michigan, during a flood that ironically cut off electricity, plunging his home into darkness and highlighting his lifelong fascination with power. He left behind a multifaceted legacy, an automotive dynasty that continues to shape global transportation. His contributions to modern manufacturing through the moving assembly line, the concept of mass production, and the radical idea of paying workers the living wage, the $5 day, profoundly influenced labor practices and fueled the rise of the American middle class. Despite his controversies, the enduring mark he made was undeniable. A world where personal mobility was no longer a luxury, but an accessible reality. A testament to the quiet culmination of a remarkable life, whose vision continued to propel future generations.